Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be continuing a what if I have recently done. I'll be continuing what if King Cold went to Namek instead of the Ginyu Force. Now last time we left off, with the combined effort of Goku, Krillin, Gohan, Vegeta and Nail, he managed to kill Frieza, with Goku's Spirit Bomb being the final blow to end Frieza's life. However, with his son missing, King Cold has now begun to hunt down the people responsible for his son's death. We join our story now. As we left off, the group are still standing around the area where they took down Frieza, and then being able to sense the fact that King Cold has begun searching for the group. It's sort of going how the group has planned so far. And with King Cold getting closer and closer, he has left the ship, so they just drop their powers near as low as they possibly can and start making their way towards Frieza's ship. Yeah, there will be a few guards on there, but that's nothing they can't deal with very fast. Now, King Cold happens to arrive at the place where the battle went down, and you can see a lot of damage had happened in this area. Not like there was a massive fight though. It was just it was 3 ki blasts, and you can see the massive explosion, presumably where Frieza died. And he now knows that his son is dead, and the anger fully kicks in, and he begins to use his scouter, trying to find any power level at all which stands out to him, which is anywhere near his son's level of power. The closest thing he can probably find is one that is very inaccurate, keeps jumping up and down. It's probably just the scouter, messing up. Now, he's really annoyed, because now his empire, which he left for his son, has no ruler. He could give it to Cooler now, but he doesn't like him as much as he liked Frieza. God, if Frieza just left, he thinks if Frieza just left the planet, this would have never happened. But then it hits King Cold. The things Frieza was collecting, the Dragon Balls, they apparently could grant wish, so maybe if it's true, they can bring back his son. Having thought of this, he knows that Frieza has most of the balls on the ship, and he flies that way. And as he's flying, he's still trying to keep an eye out for this power level. Anything, really, that could possibly have taken down his son. Now, the reason I'm saying he would make the wish back is because I do believe King Cold loves Frieza in his own sick, twisted, murderous way, as he did get angry when Trunks killed Frieza in, the beginning of the Cell Saga, I suppose. And hearing this, I can imagine there is anger going through him. Now, when King Cold arrives at the ship, he finds that Dragon Balls are gone, and all the guards that are on the ship are pretty much down for the count. This is because the group, while King Cold was out flying and trying to figure out what happened, took the time to quickly get all the Dragon Balls out of the ship. And now they actually have all the balls. And they make the distance, they get as far away from the ship as possible, sensing that King Cold is probably there by now. And they summon the dragon. They had discussed just before what wishes needed to be made first. They know their first wish needs to be to bring Piccolo back, so they get the Earth Balls back as well. That wish is already dealt with. Now, Vegeta has been trying to convince the group to let him become immortal so he can defeat King Cold. However, pretty much all of the group is ignoring Vegeta, which is really annoying him. He's getting angry, but he can't retaliate because 2 people in this group are stronger than him, and the 2 people who are below him aren't that much weaker. Now, even though he's angry, he sort of is alright with it, I suppose. Like, he knows that as long as he's sticking with these, his survival rate is much higher, so he's biting his tongue, not completely going mental about it. Now, Nail wants to ask to bring back the Namekians who have died to Frieza or any of his minions, but he also knows that the Earthlings need their friends back, and it's not like they can't use it in a shorter amount of time. So with that, they decide that their second wish needs to be to bring Yamcha back for Bulma, because they did just sort of abandon her. And with the third wish, sort of, they've decided that they'll see how they feel with the last one, just see what needs to be done. And after that, they decide to summon the dragon. It's out, and they begin making the first wish, bringing Piccolo back to life. And as he is brought back to life, Kami is also brought back. Now, after the first wish took a bit of time to, communicate to Nail to tell the dragon what to do. And in this time, King Cold noticed Pronga was knocking around. And he immediately flies towards it, giant dragon just showed up out of nowhere. You're going to sort of fly towards it. And once he's there, everyone just freezes, being able to sense his power behind them. With the group slowly turning and seeing King Cold there. Now, I just want to make this very, very clear. Goku has got the full multiplier boost from Guru. However, his power level is still 99,000. No, sorry, 990,000. It's nowhere near enough to take down King Cold. And at this point, if they can avoid a fight, they're going to try and do it. It's very unclear how he's going to play. Now, they're all very much on edge. King Cold looks around and says, I look like I found the people responsible for killing my son. This should be interesting. Let me see the power level that the people who killed my son possess. King Cold begins reading their power levels, and it's confusing to him as they're all really low. But then, and demands them to let him have a wish on the dragon, knowing that because they're weaker than him, he's fine. After it seems the legend his son was talking about is true, the group begin to lose their mind. They're panicking because they can't give this guy the wish, as he's still not 100% sure if this is the murder of his kids after reading their power. Nail, being someone who's very calm, keeps his composure and says the dragon can only grant one wish, and they've already made it, but if he leaves the planet, he will make the next wish next time they're active, to bring back his son. Obviously, he's not planning on it, but he's just trying to please the king. King Cold isn't an idiot. Isn't an idiot and doesn't believe Nail, and he believes Nail won't follow through with the deal he just struck. He now begins slowly walking towards the group, sort of letting out a very murderous vibe about him. And this makes Goku take the first move, and he powers up as fast as he possibly can, and tackles King Cold at his maximum power. But King Cold doesn't even budge backwards an inch. If anything, Goku just did more damage to his shoulder than King Cold took. And after this, Goku quickly moves backwards. And now King Cold can see his power. He can see, you're the one who killed my son. And he starts saying, you must have taken him down before he got a chance to transform, though, because you are nowhere near his even second form. Now, I, unlike my son, decide to stay in my strongest form, and my power level is miles above yours, with 120 mil being King Cold's power. Now, I do just want to quickly say this isn't completely accurate, but this is sort of the best I could find. I hope you don't mind. And with the group not really needing to be told about the huge gap between them, as they can sense it, Goku in Kaioken times 20 is nowhere near as strong as that, with his power level being 19.8 mil. So now the group needs to find a way to deal with him. And Goku instantly, with no other option left, activates his Kaioken times 20. Just to try and do something. And he begins barraging King Cold with a flurry of attacks, but he's not actually even really bothered by these attacks. Now, watching this, Vegeta starts thinking, if he's going to die, he's going to die as a warrior, and joins into the battle as well. Vegeta being leagues outmatched. He just doesn't even stand a chance in this, but he's still trying. King Cold isn't acting dumb though. He's just sort of walking towards them. These attacks are sort of stinging, but that's all it is, a sting to him. Now, while this is happening, they are not really slowing him down, but he's being a bit confident, a bit cocky, and slowly walking towards them. Now, with the two of them trying to do something with King Cold, Krillin is telling Nail to hurry up and make the next wish. Nail doesn't know what the next wish should be, and Gohan just shouts that to send King Cold to the other side of the universe. Don't ask Nail, not asking questions, just agrees and makes a wish. Porunga does grant this wish. However, because of the sheer power of King Cold, it does use up the last two wishes of the Dragon Balls. And the only reason I'm saying this is it could send Broly, who is much stronger than King Cold, back to Vampa. I'm assuming Porunga could do the same thing. And like that, the Dragon Ball scatter, leaving the group sat there. Vegeta and Goku just basically collapsed there, sweating, trying to catch their breath. They hadn't actually taken any damage, they just had to put everything they had into that attack to at least try and slow him down. And they have managed to revive themselves sometimes, but it's unclear how much time they have brought. King Cold is on the other side of the galaxy now. And Gohan didn't wish for him to be killed because he knew how it went down with the Saiyans, that the Saiyans were too strong to be killed. So, sending him to the other side of the galaxy is a good compromise. Now, they need to come up with a plan of action, to deal with King Cold. They have used up the two wishes they have left, and the Dragon Balls are useless. And now, Guru is pretty much hanging on to life by the smallest thread ever. He told Dende to send a message to Elder Mori that he's going to be taking Guru's place. And soon after telling Dende that, Guru dies. Now, the group have a situation. They could now decide to leave their planet. Leave the planet and just hope King Cold never comes to Earth, but also leave the Namekians there defenseless by themselves. Or they could try and help the Namekians. Now, at this point, the group have met up with Bulma, with Vegeta and Nail still being there. And Bulma wants to head back. She had just been left to fend for herself on this planet. And Goku isn't really with this idea. He wants to stay and try and help the Namekians. And Gohan is also against this. The Namekians did help them bring back their friend. They should at least try and do something. And Krillin is also agreeing. Krillin does agree with this mindset of them, but he's just so scared of how strong King Cold was. Now, Vegeta doesn't mind whatever happens. He wants a wish on Dragon Balls. He doesn't care what he has to do. And the group know that hopefully King Cold won't be back before a year's up. And Nail thanks them and starts explaining how a year in Namekian, lifetime is probably the equivalent of 3 months for them. So realistically, they only have to wait a little bit for, the Dragon Balls to reactivate. After hearing this, the group are relieved they don't have to wait ages. And they decide that they will spend these 3 months on Namek training themselves and trying to help some of the Namekians prepare, just in case King Cold comes back. Now, they do also have the Earth Balls are active now, but they decide not to ask for them to be used. They can sort of use the Earth Dragon Balls as an escape if all comes to worse. And Vegeta has been quietly sitting there, not really saying no. The group decide to let him stick around. He will be a help against the fight against King Cold. He doesn't really like anyone, but he likes the thought of training to fight King Cold. But he also knows there's a huge power between them, and he doesn't know how they will grow that strong in 3 months. But Goku easily answers that with they'll train in the gravity chamber that he came here on. He grew mentally strong in the week it took him to get here. Imagine what he's going to grow in 3 months. Now, hearing this, Vegeta does like the sound of this. He likes the thought of getting some training in. So, this is what they'll do. They all decide to stay. Now, the group sort of splits off into their own little groups here. Bulma spends, this is probably like just after the first day, they decide that they will set their 3 months up here like this. Bulma's going to spend most of the time on Frieza's ship, trying to see if she can learn how to re-engineer it, get it flying, so they can take it back to Earth. You know, Bulma's having a fun time. She gets to play with alien technology. Sounds amazing to her. Then, Goku, Krillin, and Gohan all decide they will be training together. They don't want too many people in the gravity chamber at once, just because everyone's sort of at different levels. Now, I know Goku is training with the weakest two, however, it's a good chance for Goku to spend time with his best friend and his son, so he can help monitor Gohan's growth. Nail insisted that he trained with Vegeta, as he didn't want Vegeta to grow too strong too fast. He did slay a whole Namekian village. However, he did prove himself useful by trying to fight King Cold, and he was sort of he came up with the idea to kill Frieza. They'll give him benefit of the doubt. Now, this training is sort of how they're going to go for a while. I know might be an issue with food, but we've seen there is plenty of things to live off on Namek. There's frogs, those fish things that showed up in that one episode, and they do grow vegetables. The water probably is drinkable, and with that effect, the group do just decide to spend most of their time training. Goku, Krillin, and Gohan go in for the first few hours of the day's schedule they set up, with them mostly trying to polish off Gohan's fighting style, and then they leave, letting Vegeta and Nail enter. Vegeta and Nail do mostly go full sparring mode on each other. However, Nail is trying to teach Vegeta the basics of ki control. Not the basics, but like sensing energy, keeping your ki suppressed, all of that. So he's got it much more refined. But Vegeta's starting to outgrow Nail very fast, with all the Zenkais from training, and the Saiyan biology lets Saiyans grow much faster than any other race. And soon he will surpass Nail. Now, this isn't the only thing that happens. Later on, once Nail and Vegeta have finished for the day, Goku also goes in for a few hours alone. He doesn't want to grow at such a slow rate just by training with Krillin and Gohan. He pushes himself to the absolute limit while he's in there by himself. Now, I don't really think I need to explain why I put these groups together. I did sort of give a brief, but they have told the people on Earth down on Earth that they need to start collecting the Dragon Balls just in case. And much like that, Piccolo has done it. He's also training on Earth, but it's not as fruitful because it is only him there. And to be fair, that's probably all I will cover today. Yeah, I know it's sort of been an awkward one and I've not uploaded in a while. Sorry, I'm sort of trying to get past being really lazy. I just, have really bad days. But I hope everyone enjoyed, and I really wanted to get this out before Christmas. And I hope everyone does have a nice Christmas. I want to say thanks for helping me reach 100 subscribers. That was incredible to me. I never thought I'd get into the triple digits, and here I am. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great Christmas, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.